Okay, a lot of updates. Today is March 29th, Good Friday, and also we celebrate and enjoy the lemon variety of the chiffon cake, which was invented about 100 years ago. Anyway, the first thing I want to talk about is Groq. There is Groq with K, which is X.AI model, and there is Groq with Q, which is the name of the startup which creates their own chips. And this is the chips, and they make cards with those chips, and they make notes, and they make racks. So if you go to Groq.com, you can try it. They run multiple large language models, for example, Mistral or Llama 2. It's amazingly fast. So they say it's 500 tokens per second, which is 100 to 600 times faster than regular NVIDIA GPU. It's absolutely amazing, and like you can't believe how fast it is. So I really recommend you go to Groq, enter your email. There is no password, no credit card, whatever. They just collect emails, and then you will be able to test and see for yourself. So they exist for several years. It's a startup. This is Jonathan Ross. He is Groq founder and CEO. He actually started making chips at Google, designing. At Google, people can spend 80% of time on their work and 20% on some hobby or something. So his hobby project was to create TPUs. And then he became a member of Google X Rabbit Eval Teams, which is also called Moonshots Factory. And then he started his own business. So this is amazing technology. What they're able to do, they created a chip which is specifically designed for inference, not for training models, not for graphical, only for large language models for inference. And because of that, it's simpler than GPU. So here is the graphic processor, GPU, and here is the LPU, which is language processing unit by Groq. And it's simpler and it's much faster. Okay. Accenture. Accenture is a big consulting company. They're all over the place in Europe. They actually started at Dublin, I think. And they are doing consulting. And doing consulting, they're now on a track to be like $2.4 billion a year in their revenues, which is absolutely amazing. So they making more money in revenues than OpenAI and all other venture-backed AI companies combined. So now it looks like it's a golden time for consultants to do AI projects. And so this is a description of this company. They have more than 600,000 employees, and they do something smart. They partnered with AWS and Anthropic to build industry-specific AI solutions, which is mostly just chatbots. And yeah, so there is some more statistics. Average enterprise more than doubles budget for AI in 2024. So you see 2023, 2024. So it expected, and it's already happening, big growth. And yeah, that's fine. Next big portion of news is Emad Mostaque has left Stability.AI. So Emad started with finance. He was trading. Then he went in non-profits. Then he started Stability.AI, and now he left the company, and with the team of his closest, best developers. This is again very unexpected. So there will be many interviews. He said that he left to pursue decentralized AI. Not sure exactly what it is, so maybe we'll return in one of the next presentations. Next is Mistral 7B version 0.2. New model, supposedly better, has longer context window. You see 32K, and there are a lot of links, a lot of discussions, but not clear. So you remember Mistral 7B first version was introduced in September, almost exactly half a year ago. And so now in March, and they did it like during the hackathon. There was no major announcement. As usual, they are low key. Anyway, so just for you to know that this model exists, it's open source, it's on Hugging Face, it's everywhere. Next, agentic workflows, Andrew Ng. I already spoke about it last time, but I want to repeat. So there was his presentation. This is YouTube. You can listen to it. It's about 20 minutes. And it's also in his badge newsletter called The Badge. I highly recommend to subscribe to it. So here's a picture from his presentation where they were doing human eval testing using different models. And for example, GPT 3.5 was about 48, I think, and GPT-4 was about 67. And then there are some other things which have like 85, 90, 95. And these are multi-agent constructs, and they behave much better. And he talks about different ways how you can do these multi-agent systems. They can do reflection, self-reflection, and self-improvement, right? They can use external tools, like, for example, external databases, RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, web search, calculator, execute code, and so on. So this is a tool use. They can do planning and using different schemas, how you want to do the planning. And then they may use multiple agents which collaborate together, distribute tasks, and so on. This is amazing. This is a big trend. This is happening. There are a lot of software packages and frameworks doing that, and like amazing, 95%. This is amazing. Next big thing, Databricks released their own model, which is called DBRX. But it doesn't need to run on Databricks. It's actually run on regular GPU servers. And it is better than Llama 2, Groq, and Mistral. It has 32K context length, kilotoken, right? It is transformer based, 132 billion parameters. It is mixture of experts, but using 16 experts. Remember, Mistral is using 8 experts. So here you have 16 experts, and it chooses 4 at a time. So rotary position encoding, gated linear units, grouped query attention, GPT-4 tokenizer. So it's twice faster than comparable models. But it needs 4 80 gigabyte GPUs to run inference with 16-bit precision. Well, we'll see when we'll have a quantized version, and then we'll be able to run it and test it. But so far, it's a very good model. It's a very exciting news, yet another model. A model a day keeps the doctor away. Okay, Jamba. This is absolutely amazing. So in December, there was a publication about Mamba. So it's a state model, whatever. The idea is that transformer, which is very popular nowadays, it uses attention, and attention uses square matrices. So you have n by n, so n squared complexity. The longer the text, the more calculations you have to make. And people try to break this quadratic complexity to be able to process longer texts. And this state automation, whatever it's called. Why it's called? I don't remember what it's called. But this Mamba was proposed in December. It was simple. It worked on a very small model, but it just showed the potential. And there were some publications, and this Jamba, it's actually the production grade real system with, it can process 256K context length. It is faster than Mistral, much faster, right? It can fit 140K context in a single GPU, which is again quite amazing. It is completely open sourced, Apache 2. So this is the team. These are some professors, and it is in Israel. And yeah, this is amazing. The structure is combined Mamba layers and regular transformer layers. So it's kind of convoluted. Here, there are a comparison of different models. Well, it's too small to understand, but the Jamba is on the bottom and it behaves very well. So yet another great model. Simba. So Jamba and now Simba. It's coming from Microsoft, simplified Mamba-based architecture again. So remember in December and January I spoke that, well, it's amazing architecture and we should see more development. Now we see it. Now we have production grade, fast and big models already developed and available in open source. Okay, context length, output length of some models. So here we have GPT 3.5 Turbo, and it has 16K input and 4K tokens output, right, in and out. GPT-4 is 120A in, only 4K out. Claude 3, 200K, 4K out. I wanted to stress this because people sometimes don't realize that the output is actually limited. Gemini Pro 1.5 can process 1 million tokens of input and gives 8K tokens out. And Mistral 7B, I didn't find out, but it's probably 4K. Okay, yet another model, Stable Code Instruct 3B from Stability.AI. Open Interpreter 01 Lite. It is this small device. It's a hardware device. You can talk to it, and it controls computer. So yeah, so it's a device, a part of a broader open source project aimed at creating a more accessible and flexible computing experience. So here's some links. It's GitHub. Okay, OpenAI is pitching Sora to Hollywood. Remember, Sora is the model which they released recently, which can produce 60 seconds videos, which are very, very realistic. And now they're pitching it to Hollywood because instead of CGI and other technologies which are very expensive, you suddenly can use Sora, which is very inexpensive, right? Okay, 10% of US workers are in jobs most exposed to artificial intelligence. This is White House, CNN. Elon Musk, in his interview, said that AGI may be achieved in 1 to 3 years, but definitely in less than 5 years. 5 years from now, 2029. This was the year which Ray Kurzweil predicted, so it looks like maybe we'll be ahead of schedule. Amazon, in August, September, I think, they made a deal with Anthropic that they will put $4 billion. Hello, do you hear me? Please confirm. Hello?
Yes,
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
And they gave part of this money and now they gave the rest. So the total of $4 billion investment is now reality. Anthropic is served from Amazon Cloud mostly. It's called Bedrock. Okay, and Amazon is planning to invest $150 billion over the next 15 years on digital infrastructure. Their data centers, and mostly, of course, for AI. Okay, Elon Musk's company, X.AI, announced that they're releasing Groq, next version of Groq model. So they open sourced the first version a couple of weeks ago. Now they are announcing, they haven't released it yet, Groq 1.5, which has a longer context length and it's much better at math and reasoning in comparison to the first one. So it's on the level of Claude 3 Sonnet and Gemini Pro 1.5. So you can read this blog. H2O Wizard LM, turn documents into question-answer pairs, which is, again, very important. This is how you create instruct datasets to train the models, or you can make datasets for question answering using RAG systems. NA LLM, it's Neo4j, GraphDB, and LLMs. Again, so open source project. So here's the link. I highly recommend after go to GitHub, download the slides, and follow some links. Okay, this is a book about chips. It's called Chip War. So microchips are the new oil. Today, military, economic, geographical power are built on foundation of computer chips. Virtually everything from missiles, microwaves, smartphones to stock market runs on chips. America designed and built the fastest chips and maintained its lead as superpower. But now America's age is sleeping. So we're talking about China, which spends huge amount of money, more money each year importing chips than it spends importing oil. It's pouring billions into chip founding initiative to catch up with the US. Okay, next is how Google let OpenAI take the lead. Because sometimes, well, Google had huge advantage, right? They created Google Translate, they had Google Brain, they have lots of specialists. They invented attention mechanism and transformer architecture, 2017, the famous paper, Attention is All You Need. Google understood the value of language models, and they created multiple models, and some of them better than ChatGPT, but they were hesitant about releasing them because chatbots were wrong, often hallucination, and Google had a reputation and goal to always provide correct answers. But releasing ChatGPT and other models made it clear that even with the shortcomings, they are still useful and popular, and this has pushed Google to release their models eventually, which, as you know, happened last December. Okay, simple. Now several slides about RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. A simple RAG on AWS. So here's the customer. He talks to some Python code. It's usually in AWS Lambda. And then it may be talking to several systems, which is Amazon DynamoDB, which is key value store, which can store chat history. So you have a session with this user, and for session ID, you can keep chat history. You can even download, upload some documents and also keep it here. Then you have Amazon Bedrock, which is simply Python API or whatever API to talk to large language models, which are hosted here on Amazon. And then you have Amazon Kendra, which is Amazon's own semantic search or vector database. I'm not sure what is under the hood, but it does the search. You can, in human language, ask it the query, and it will return the data. So you can ask, return me 10 documents, for example, and then you use large language model to synthesize in one response, and then you send it back to the customer, right? So this is pretty standard. What's interesting here that these are Lego pieces like AWS Lambda, which is simply a way to run Python code, and then DynamoDB and Bedrock for LLM, and then Kendra as a searchable database. Okay, multi-agent RAG systems. I spoke earlier that if you use multiple agents, you can improve your systems dramatically, improve correctness, and for example, you can do multi-agent RAG system. And so this is the diagram, and if you think about it, there are multiple ways how you can use agents, like how you distribute the roles and what they do. So here are some links and also some frameworks which you can use to accomplish this. So one of them is Microsoft AutoGen. It was released, I think, in the fall, because it was a long time ago, definitely like half a year ago. So this is how to do it. Improving, and it's open source, by the way. Improving RAG using LangGraph and LangChain. Okay, here are some publications and video. Using LangChain React agents for answering multi-hop questions in RAG systems. ARAG, Agentic RAG. So Agentic means you're using agents to do something, right? Llama Index Agentic RAG demo. Yet another Medium article. Adding agentic layer to RAG and more and more and more. Okay, so yeah, you have CrewAI, you can use AWS Kendra, RAG on Azure, multi-agent RAG on Azure. Well, I should have added some links, I just forgot. Anyway, but you can easily search and find the links. Okay, RAG, evaluate and improve. So if you want to improve the RAG, so we have naive RAG, and how to evaluate RAG applications. This is a very good video. It's coming from this company, activeloop.ai. So this short video talks about simple RAG, And the problems may be low precision of retrieving data, data which is retrieved is not relevant, large language model may have hallucinations, it may be lost in the middle trying to like give reasonable answer. Retrieving data, it may also have low recall, meaning it doesn't find all the necessary documents, not all relevant data retrieved, so not enough data to synthesize the answer, redundant, outdated data. Bad response generation, hallucination, irrelevance, toxicity, bias. So how to improve? And there are multiple ways. Store additional information, multimodal data store like activeloop's Deep Lake, which I'll talk about it a little bit later. Make better embeddings, try different models. Retrieval, make better using activeloop deep memory. We'll talk about it. Synthesis, use LLMs for modern generation. Evaluate RAG. So you can evaluate it end to end. You give question, get the response, and evaluate if the response is correct. But you can also evaluate the piece by piece. So you can separately evaluate retrieval, precision, and recall. Precision is what it retrieves, is it relevant, and recall, does it retrieve all the pieces, right? And synthesis. How you test synthesis? Well, first, you can have a set of question answers and you can test if you give this question, do you get the correct answer? This is called labeled test, and this is for accuracy, for correctness. But you can also test, do non-labeled tests like faithfulness, relevancy, adheres to guidelines, toxicity 3, and there are frameworks which do this testing, and they have their own data sets, questions and answers, how you do these tests. Okay, now next video, it's also on YouTube, it's advanced. And by the way, maybe I can just show you what I'm talking about. So this is Active Loop channel, which I highly recommend to subscribe. And he talks about, these are really high quality videos. He talks about how to improve advanced methods, and I will give you a short summary on this slide. So you can do better parsers, chunk sizes, hybrid search, metadata filters. You can use deep memory, which is their own invention using neural network. You can use re-ranking, recursive retrieval, embedded tables, small to big retrieval. This is actually this, I'll explain in a second. Agents, multi-agents, routing, query planning, multi-documents agents, embedding fine-tuning, and LLM fine-tuning. Well, this is rare. People usually don't do that, but and it gives you just maybe 2-3% extra accuracy at the most. Okay, so first I want to explain what deep memory is. So this is their own tools from activeloop.ai. So this is documentation. It's a small, tiny neural network. It analyzes, so you have questions and you have answers, and it can train on both of them to make better embeddings, and because of that, make better retrieval. So on average, they get well, up to 22% increase in accuracy. Well, it depends on the case, but let's say 20% increase in accuracy, which is really, really good. Now, small to big retrieval is this idea. So let's say you split your text in sentences and you convert sentences into vectors. And then using similarity search, you found the sentence. You see this red, that's what you found. But what you return is not just this sentence, you return also text before and after. So bigger piece. So that's why it's called small to big retrieval. Okay, so there are, this is the table from the video, and it's like pain point and solutions. For example, retrieval is bad. You can use deep memory, adjusting chunk sizes, how you split the text, use better parsers, re-ranking, small to big retrieval, fine-tuning, embeddings. Handling structured, unstructured data. Metadata filters, augmenting SQL with semantic search, parsing embedded tables in PDFs, which again, it's a big problem. So you can use recursive retrieval, handling complex questions, routing, query planning, multi-document agents. I will not go in detail. I highly recommend to watch this video. It's about 20 minutes. It's absolutely excellent. Now, activeloop.ai. So it is a startup. It's 11 million in funding. They're in Mountain View, California, where many startups are. And their main product is called Deep Lake. So it's a database specifically designed for AI data, not just text. They can also do embeddings and images and even videos. And PIP3 install Deep Lake. It's that easy. So they have multiple versions. You can run it in memory. You can install it locally. You can use it on the cloud. They're very flexible. They work with all three clouds, and I think they have their own managed service. So here, this is their GitHub, so open source. Amazing technology, really, really amazing technology. If you want a high quality RAG solution, this may be like the best in existence. Okay, GraphRAG, yet another approach for RAG. So this is Microsoft GraphRAG, the recent publication. They haven't released it. I didn't find the code for how to do it, but what they're doing, they're using graph neural network for embedding pieces of text as embedding vectors, and they placed it in this network, in graph neural network. So this GNN, graph neural network, is used to both embedding the knowledge into the graph as numeric embedding vectors and to identify key information and retrieve it. So this is both storing and retrieving. Okay, but there are many other solutions. And by the way, this is not the first. I mean, what's good about it that it was done by Microsoft and looks like it's a serious work. But there were many, many approaches before. And if you have a lot of data, you want a real database with backups and like multiple servers and so on. And here, of course, it's Neo4j. It's a graph database. It has open source community edition. Here are the links. This is how to do RAG in Neo4j. Andrew Ng, who everybody knows and admires, famous standard professor, author of machine learning course on Coursera. And so he recently came up with a course on how to do RAG with Neo4j. This is next is my video where I explain Neo4j in about 10 minutes, everything you need to know about it. And this is a really great article on Medium, how you do your own RAG using Neo4j, like do it yourself. Really clear, like a student can just take this article and repeat and make RAG system. Okay, Amazon Neptune, fully managed graph database on Amazon. Stardog, enterprise knowledge graph platform. On to text GraphDB. So again, yet another solution. Nebula Graph, very well known. They pioneered this approach, in fact. And Graph Engineer Engine Service from Huawei Cloud. So these are the main players if you want to do, use graph database. Okay, next is Quantize to 1 bit. You know that models started with regular precision of maybe 32-bit and 16-bit. Now the new chips by NVIDIA, part of the best performance is because they moved down to 8-bit. And people who are running large language models often quantize them even lower to maybe 4-bit. There was a recent publication from Microsoft where they showed a possibility of quantizing to 1.58 bits. So the numbers is 1, 0, and -1. Only 3 numbers allowed. This work here, it explains how you can take existing model, let's say Llama 2, and quantize it to a few bit quantization and still have good accuracy. Because usually it was a problem when people are doing quantizing down to 4-bit, it worked well, but like 2-3 bits, it became unstable. So here they looks like they achieved success with quantization even deeper using special methods. Next, crowdsourced arena leaderboard was updated several days ago. And hooray, on the first place we have Claude 3 Opus. So GPT-4 is officially dethroned. They were king on the hill and, well, the difference is very small. You see 1251, 1253, and it's within the era, but still, like this is the first time for a long time. Okay, so we have Claude, we have GPT-4, we have Gemini from Google, we have Claude again, GPT-4, Claude again, GPT-4, Mistral Large. It's not open source, it's through API. And then we have Qwen 1.5. This is from Alibaba. I think it's open source, it has its own license. Claude 1, Mistral Medium, also not open source. And then this Starlink LM7B, it's UC Berkeley, so it has to be open source. Anthropic Claude 2, Gemini Pro, Mistral Next, Claude 2, GPT 3.5, and Mistral 87B. This is definitely open source. Everybody loves it. Okay, and Gemini Pro. So these are total 75 models. Here are the top 15. Okay, now about jobs and layoffs. So you see, this is January 23, this is January 24. Number of layoffs is much smaller, like about 3 times smaller. This is February, same thing, and this is March. And yes, it's much smaller. So this year we have much less tech layoffs. There are some other graphs which show that number of layoffs in other industries actually may be increasing, but in technical, you see it's not big at all. Also, salaries for AI engineers were rising, and the average salary for AI engineer is about $200,000 a year. And there is a lot of AI talent shortage. So salaries, 1 million salary, it's like, well, I wouldn't say it's like common, but it's not unheard of. And in fact, I read today that Mark Zuckerberg from Meta, from Facebook, he is writing personal emails to DeepMind like, lead developers, inviting them to go to Meta. Meta, like trying to find the talent where they can. They don't interview people, they just invite them and seduce them with big salaries because they invested heavily in the servers, in NVIDIA GPUs, and they need people who will work with all this technology. So it's booming. It's a good time to be an AI developer, AI engineer. Okay, so this is me. Nothing changes here, and thank you.